Okay, we're back out on the frame, and today is going to be our first proper day building here. So I was here a few days ago to film the first episode, and we marked out where all the walls are going to go on the slab. Since then, the steel has been installed, and now we've got all our timber dropped off, and we're going to start cutting in for all of our walls. And thank you to Blue 80 for sponsoring this video as well. I'm setting up the battery and inverter here. We've got the AC500 inverter, and we're going to be using this to power everything on site today. Can you get the engineer plans up? I think the first thing I want to find out is where these power trusses go. So we'll mark out exactly where these go, and then with them marked out, we'll just make sure we don't run our wall plates through these. I had an issue with this in the last job we did. So the power truss sits right here, and do you have, I don't have a tape on me, I've got this though. Power truss is 600 mil, which if we hit it into there.
Oh, with Chelsea, yeah.
Yeah, no, 600 mil doesn't work to that tag. Yeah, so the issue we had is that these power trusses can't be checked out over this tag. The whole point of them, the main focus of the power trusses, both sides need to be bolted down into the concrete, and that will stop it moving side to side, and that's what braces the house. So ideally this tag can't really be here. For now though, I think all we need to worry about is when we build our walls, we'll make sure we stop these external walls here, and we'll leave that open, and we'll sort that out when we see the builder. Same with that one there. Our external wall will finish before that junction there, and we'll leave that little end bit out. And then I think it was here as well. So this external wall, we'll just finish in line with that, and we'll leave this out here for the power truss. And same on the other side, just those three places. So that might be an issue for all of them, to be honest. Well, I'll make a note of that. It's something we need to figure out, but for now, yeah, we can just move on and start cutting the plates and work. Yeah, we won't install those until the walls are up anyway. We'll just leave everything out for those. So what do we have? We've got 70 mil for nogs. Yep. It looks like we've got 35 mil for pitching plates. And yeah, there's double the amount there for a 45 mil top and bottom plate. Do you want to jump on the other side of the beams? We'll lift these beams up onto the studs, and we'll start moving some of these plates towards the back, and we'll start at the back and make our way forward. Sweet. Sweet. Yeah, I'm just looking at it. There's actually not too many walls at all down here. I might start taking some down. I'll start down there. We'll stay in this unit for now. We'll get one unit completely done. But yeah, I'll take everything down there, start that back. Do you want to start up here? Yeah. Okay. And just remember what we went over with the flick out, that this here is completely wrong, because there's obviously no wall sitting across there. That goes through, and it's going to butt in with that one down there. So maybe for this wall here, or any wall that's going to run in and hit that lower wall, so the same as this wall through here, we'll do it together with the level, and we'll plumb up, go across 90 mil, just to make sure everything's perfect. You all good with what you're doing?
Yeah, sure.
Sweet, cool. I've got a saw out. What's charged? That's all right.
Fucking there.
I reckon we'll make a 91 mil gap. Mark 200 mil, or mark 191 for now. Maybe do that. And just measure to that point and then add 100.
Yeah, okay.
And yeah, then that's good. Then that wall up there is going to overhang. And if we build a wall through there, it's going to tie everything together. While I'm here, we'll do the same thing for this one. Actually, no, we can do that one later. We'll do the same thing over here for the party wall. Yeah, because we flicked that, but there's no wall up there. This is the only wall down here. So yeah, we'll just do the same 100 mil datum. And that's it there. Cool. Cool, sweet. Yep. Sweet. Awesome. Thank you. And you're all over cutting in?
Yeah, I haven't done the whole week of it, but yeah, I should be fine.
Cool. One thing to think about is we don't have any long continuous walls here, so it's fine. I was just going to say we don't want to stop and start a wall plate where a window is.
Yeah, okay.
Another thing we're going to make sure we do is if we have two timbers and we site them, whichever one has a slight bow in it, we want that to be the bottom plate, because it's going to be easier to get the bottom plate straight, shoot that into the concrete, rather than the top plate.
Yeah.
The bottom plate we could put fixings in however close we want to make sure it's straight, but for the top plate, it's only where the posies land every 450.
Yeah.
Or trusses. I think there's some trusses at the back somewhere.
Yeah.
If they're crazy bowed, obviously we won't use them. We just want to make sure the top plates are pretty straight. Awesome. I might get a quick hand. Can I borrow your tape for a second? I'll have one in my car, I'll get it. Just for this one here, because I want to go in between both of these lines. So I just get you to hold me on that line there, please.
Yep.
So I've got 4640. That sounds good. Thanks, boss. And obviously too, before you cut them in, just keep checking the other side of your timber for square. Both pretty good. Hopefully all the timber's pretty straight. Sweet. It's good there. Sweet. All right, so if you don't know what we're doing right now, these are going to be exactly where our walls are built. So in the first video we went through, we flipped all these lines showing where the walls are going to go. And now these are going to be the top plates and bottom plates of our wall frame. So we're going to go through and cut through our plates everywhere that our wall is going to go. And once they're all laid in place, we'll go through, mark out where the studs go, mark out any window openings, any doors, any special features. And then we'll open these up, put studs in between them, and there's going to be a wall stood up right here where these plates are. All right, so that's a pre-cut, pretty much done. Most of the walls are cut in. We didn't actually have enough timber to do the garages, which is fine. We'll worry about those later. And I think there's 2 walls through there that we didn't have enough timber for. Apart from that, everything else is cut in. We did speak about it this morning. I've left those little ones out for the power trusses. And I've actually spoke to the builder. We've got a plan of what's going to happen here. So I think what we're going to do is remove one of these nuts and sit the power truss through that thread. And now that I'm saying that, I don't know if it's going to work. The idea was to sit the power truss on that tag, use that thread to hide down the power truss, and pack this side up and bolt it into the concrete. The reason I don't think that's going to work is because if we have a look straight down, this is about 25 to 30 mil in from the edge of our wall line. And if we have a look at the power trusses here, these are the bottoms of them. We can see that hole is centered. So that still might be an issue we have to figure out a little bit later. We'll leave these now though. And for now, what we might do is I might actually sit up and start marking out all the plates. It took a bit longer than I expected to get all the plates cut in. We had to deal with a few things. The posi guy came up and we measured all the posies for upstairs, went over a few things with the builder. But I'm going to go through, start marking everything out. While I do that, I'm going to get Oscar sit up on the miter saw, cut in all the studs. So those studs are 27 out of 35. These are 3 meters out of 45. The 3 meter studs, they're going to be for the garage. We got another stud pack here. Okay, cool. So these, yeah, once again, these are all 45. And these are 3 6s, and they're going to be for the back section. And these here should also be 2.7 then. So looking at all these studs here, what I think is going on is that we've got firstly these 3 meter ones for the garage. I think these 2.7 90/45s are going to be for the external studs for up here. And the 35 2.7 ones are going to be for all the internal walls. I'll double check that with the builder. And then, yeah, same thing for the back. They're all just 90/45 full size studs. Yeah, so if we have a look here from the finished floor line to the ceiling line, we do have exactly 2.7. For the back section back there, we've got 3 420. And for these garage walls, it's going to be that 2.7 plus whatever the step down is here. So for the 2.7 studs, obviously it's going to be, the finished wall height is going to be 2.700 minus that 45 top and bottom plate which we've laid out, and then we're going to do a 90/35 pitching plate. That's 125, meaning that the studs should be 2.575. And what we always do is, because once you put a few plates and studs together, even though they're exactly 45, 45 and 35, they will end up being about 126 to 127. They kind of do have small gaps between them. They expand a little bit, but I always decrease the stud size very slightly. So we'll go 2.573, and that will end up giving us the perfect 2.7 height. And we'll double check that once the balls are up, and I'm sure we'll have exactly 2.7 if we cut the studs of that measure. I'm just trying to work out a bit of a plan too, because obviously the garage is going to be perfect for storing stuff. And today we're going to want to get all this timber out of the garage so that when the Hebel comes, we can stack it and leave it in here. We're not going to be able to frame this garage wall, so maybe we cut all these longer studs. Do you reckon it'll be alright if we throw it down there? Let's just leave them down there then. Okay, so to get this height, we've got a difference. I'm exactly 147 there. I'm pretty sure it's meant to be 150. I'm going to check a few points, because what I don't want to do is measure off this one point here and find out that maybe the slab kind of kicked down a little bit there and have everything wrong. So we'll measure there, 147. We'll do the same thing at the front over here. That's right on the money at 150. We'll check this side here too. Should be 150. About, what's that, 134, 135? At this point, I'm thinking of just doing the 150 of what it's meant to be. Yeah, we've got about 147 there. So it's obviously meant to be a 150 step down. We'll follow the plans, and we're just gonna have to deal with what's happening over there when we move on to the subfloor. So these garage studs are gonna be that 2573 we had, plus 150, which should be 2725. Well, sorry, 2723, because we're gonna remove that 2 mil once again. I've got the Bluetti set up once again, and we're going to be using that to power the miter saw. Actually, I've got it turned off.
You turn that on with your phone?
Yeah.
Oh, with the app, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Can you zoom in? Can you see that? So this is the app that's actually connected right now. Yeah, we're connected. So you can see we've got 100% power. The reason we've got 100% power, even though we've charged about 20 batteries this morning, is we actually do have power on the site. So I charged the batteries, and I did want to charge it up completely so that once we start using the miter saw, we can actually see how much power it's going to drain through. So right now we've only got the miter saw plugged into it. We might get the compressor later. I think if I click, oh, we got AC here.
Your finger looks fucked.
Oh yeah, I've got cuts all over myself. Turn on the AC output, okay. All right, so I think now with that on, it's gonna be pretty cool. That is mint. Have a look at this. So we can see the AC right now. I'll put the miter saw on. Oh, there we go. It tells us exactly how much power is getting pulled from it. So no, that's pretty sweet then. If you're happy with that, I'll leave you doing that, cutting all these larger studs. We might stack them over there out of the way for now. And if you're sweet to do that, I'm going to jump over here. I'll clear out the slab and I'll start marking out all the walls. Alright, so I'm going to start at this back corner here. I'm just going to make our way through. We'll do all the lower sections and then make our way to the top. I'm actually looking at this. This mark out should be very easy and very quick. For starters, we've got this wall here, and it is just a common stud spacing wall. So it's just 450 centers everywhere. We've got 450, 9, 1350, 18, 2250, 27, 3150, 36, 4050, 45, and we finish at 4950, and we'll do one at the end. I'm pretty sure that little kick in there too. I think what we're going to have to do is frame up 2 studs there, and we ideally are going to have a stud there. I'm not going to mark it now because I want to build this wall just for those 2 studs. Then we need to put a stud in from the top there, hard to the steel, screw it onto the steel. We'll leave that open so we can easily get that stud into the steel, and as we do that stud, we'll have to put the stud in here too. So that wall's done for now. Where was my square? Let's go through and we'll quickly tick this one. Right, so for this one here, we did have a look earlier. We do have the reback down there for the slider. It does say in the plan we've got door 10, and actually there's a nice little deck. We got the little pads for the deck post to go in here too. We've got a nice little deck going in here, which we'll probably build once almost everything's done with the job. So what we need to find out is firstly we want the elevations, and here we go. That's door 10 right there. That's what we're looking at. This is the wall we just marked out there. It looks like it's just a rendered wall. And then this is our door. And we're all sweet. All I wanted to make sure is that the door isn't crazy high and it won't go up through the subfloor. Obviously we've got steel there now that I look at it, so it's not going to be an issue. Door 10 is 2.4 wide, 2.4 wide and 3 meters high. We should actually have, I don't have it here, I did have a look at the window schedule this morning, and I'm pretty sure all of these are confirmed, and there's just 20 mil added to the width and the height. So this is going to be 2.420 wide by 302 row high. And that was centered from memory. I believe this was 2.7. So we'll go 1350, half of 2.420 is 1210. So I'll hold 1210 there. I'll mark 2.420. 2.420 there. Do a tick here. Just to double check we're right. We got about 138 on that side and 138 on that side. And the last thing we need to check before we mark in any studs is if there's any lintels. You can see in the plan there we've got lintel 5 and just steel columns either side. Lintel 5, L5 is 200 by 75 PFC, which is that steel we see up there. And as I'd expect, we're framing this up inside the portal. So what we'll do is just cut the studs here to be tight to underside that steel. And then she is all sweet. So for this one, I'm gonna do a line there because that's where the door starts. But all we're gonna do first is these AND studs. So we can screw it to the steel and then we'll put those door studs in later. I'll probably double those studs up too, just so there's no movement at all in them. But I'm gonna go through what we do to mark out these windows. The last few jobs I've done had plans, and the plans actually had running measurements showing you exactly, we're looking this way now, but the plans had another line here with measurements which showed you exactly where the window started and stopped. So I'm looking at this invertedly the wrong way now. Where I am right now, we've got window 1, and on that wall there, we've got window 2 and 3. These ones actually look pretty straightforward. We can see window 1 is centered in bedroom 1, window 2 is centered in the pantry. We see that pencil line on the slab there. That wall was meant to run through. It's been deleted. We can still see that that window's centered as if that was a wall there, and that's a separate room. And same with the kitchen window there, window 3. So what I might do first thing is for this wall and both of those, let's just find the middle of the walls and we'll do a centered mark. So that's going to be the edge of the bedroom there. And we're going to finish 3905. So half of that is 1952.5. That's our centered mark. So I'm just going to extend this line through. Oh, we've actually got a mark there now. And I just want to make sure this is where it needs to be, which is there. All right, so if I hold that on that mark there, we've got 1860 in here. Half of 1860 is 930. I'm going to leave that right there. Mark 930. That's center of that room. We hook over here to the inside of that wall. We've got 27, so the center of this space is 1350. Well, firstly, it doesn't hurt to run our eyes through the elevations, and we're looking at these 3 windows here. They're the 2 ones that are lower, and this is the one in this room space up here. And we can see all of them are lower than subfloor height. We just want to make sure we check that. In this whole plan, it looks like every single window is going to be fine, but sometimes you have taller windows that go through into the beam space. And we're just going to work that out now, because obviously when we frame our walls, our lintels won't be sitting in the wall. They'll be sitting on top of the wall, and I want to make a special note of that. So what windows was I looking for? We're looking for 1, 2, and 3. East elevation windows, I think. 1, 2, and 3. All right. So we're at 2424 by 21. I've had a look at the window schedule, and all of our windows for widths and heights need plus 20 mil for the frame opening. So for window 1 right here, we've got 2420, and I'm just going to write that on the top plate to start with, 2420 wide. And then we're going to go off the center mark. So I'm going to do half of 2420, which is 1210, and I'm going to leave that on the center mark, extend my tape, double check that's fine, and I'm just going to do a mark this side and a mark at 2420. And that's marked out for this window to be centered in this room. I'm not going to tick for any studs yet. I'm just going to leave that as it is, because we still have to have a look at the engineering plan to see what's happening here. The next window down there, we've got window 2, which is 1200 wide. I'm going to turn that into 1220, and we'll go 610 either side of the center mark. So I put 610 on the center mark. I'm going to tick 1220 and the end of my tape there. And window 3 is 1800. So we're going to make this one 1820, pretty straightforward now. 1820 wide, and hold 910 on that center mark. 1820, 910. I always advise doing this and have your tape running continuously, opposed to marking 910 this way and then spinning your tape and marking 910 that way, just because there's room for error. If your tape's slightly off one way or the other way, you can lose a few mil. If I'm doing a running measurement this way and I lock my tape, if I do knock it and it's not exactly centered, I might knock it back and forth. We're still going to be marking 1820 here in the end of the tape there, so the opening should still fit the window. We've got 10 mil of play either side to move the window back and forth. As long as I'm not knocking my tape 10 mil, which I should notice that and I'll fix that. But if it's a few mil here or there, we can still fit the window in and move it back and forth to be centered. So I'm just going to square these. We've got where the window goes. And the next thing is to check what lintels we have in here and what load studs we have in here. So we're looking up here. We've got L4 for the first one, which is the lintel. L stands for lintel. L1 for the second one, and L3 for that one. oh, for this one here, sorry. What we do actually have for this one right here is L3, brackets we got an O, and above that we've got SB1, brackets we got a U. U stands for under, the O stands for over. So if we actually have a look at SB1, it should give us a bit of an indication of what's happening. SB1, it says here, it's two 90/45 F17 hardwood studs on flat for the sill beam. So what that's saying is we're going to be framing a window up here. I'm just going to write down 2 times F17 sill. I'll know what that note means when we get to it. But we're going to have a window. The sill is the bottom of the window. And it's asking for a double F17 at the bottom of the window. And the reason it's got that there is so that that sill plate doesn't flex in and out and burrow over time. That's the entire reason for that sill plate being F17. I've actually never had this before, especially for a 2/4 window. That seems pretty full on, but that's what the engineer asked for. So that's going to go underneath the window. And then we've got the overmark, which is an L3. I can see here that's a 140 pine. So I'm just going to mark 140 pine here. And I don't really normally write this, but I'm going to write lintel, just so we don't get confused by the sill and the lintel. So that means these studs are going to continue up, and they're going to have a 140 checkout above the window, and that beam is going to hold all the way to the roof that goes above the window. If we look back at this plan here, we can see in both corners we have a DS1 mark. It actually says DS1U for under, and I want to double check this because that's possibly saying that the double stud isn't actually going where the studs are going. It could actually be a sill stud going underneath that F17 sill plate. I'm just going to write F17 over here for now. And this is going to be something I want to confirm with the builder because I've got a feeling it could be on the other side just to hold that sill plate. And we did check earlier that if that 140 lintel sits below top plate height, it's not going to be in the way for the window. So that's all good to go. I'm just going to mark out my studs either side. We'll just do that while I'm here. Do a 450 center, stud there, and stud at the end. For these two over here, they're a bit more basic. We've got L1, L4, no other marks. Normally when you look through the plans, we've actually got ground floor load bearing walls here, and it says, sorry, it's not there. It says a note down here, provide 2 90/45 studs under the ends of all lintels. So when there's no marks there, it's just going to be a double pine stud. So we got L1 first, L4 second. L1 is a 90/45 pine beam, and L4 is a 140 pine beam. So this is going to be, I'm just going to write 90 pine, and over here I'm going to write 140 pine. Since it's a double stud, we're going to have one stud with a checkout for the beam to sit on, and another closer stud next to it. One way that I make it easy to interpret for whoever's framing these walls is I write a W for the window mark, and the W represents the stud you're going to do the checkout out of, and the X is a closing stud that's going to be full. The reason I do that is sometimes you get triple studs, and the plans sometimes change on how many studs are going to be checked out and how many studs are going to be full closing studs. So if I do a WX, it means 2 checkouts. If I do a WXX, 1 checkout. It's just one little thing I picked up to minimize mistakes we make on site. So we do a WX for this one, and I think that's it for the window. I forgot to write down the height, which obviously I need to do as well. Can't even write a W. Yeah, I'll find the window height, we'll write down the window height as well. And I normally leave it until we frame the walls to actually mark how high the window is actually sitting. We'll get to that when it comes to framing stage though. Time's actually disappeared on me though, so I'm gonna put my head down, at least want this unit completely marked out, and then we'll try to get this one completely done too by the end of the day. Right, so Oscar got a start on the pre-cut. I think these are the ones he cut here for upstairs, and those ones down there are the garage ones he started with. What do you reckon? Is that like 80 studs? That plus that?
Probably.
Actually, might even be close to 100 plus, to be honest. I want to see how the inverter's going. That's the story. I'm guessing this is fully charged, which is good. So we saw some battery there, and it's so blurry I can't even see anything right now. Let's go back. I don't know if you're gonna be able to read that, but she's at 87%, which I think is pretty great, to be honest. I think we'll be able to cut through almost all the studs here and not get down past 50%. I mean, that's it done for day 2 though. I told you what I was wanting to get done at the start of the day. Obviously, we're a bit behind schedule. I was hoping for more. So all the plates that we can have been laid in. We're missing 1 plate there, 1 plate through there, and the garages. We need more timber for that to be done. On the bright side, this entire unit here has been marked out. Studs are marked, door openings are marked, lintels, windows, everything's good to go. We're waiting for a couple other guys to come here and help us out so we get a move on with this job. But I think there's a chance it's just me and Oscar on Monday. So it's going to be interesting to see how we go with these walls. But I'm pretty happy we've got some progress on the job. I think once we've got some actual walls stood, it's going to look a little bit better. But that's episode 2. We'll see you in a few days for episode 3.